Happy full moon in Cancer, water sign Cancer. It is the second to last day for the year 2020. So it's December 30th, and this is the video for you guys. All right, so we see that we have Cancer here. Zodiac sign, Cancer is in the 11th house. And I see the moon in Cancer. So we can just start off by you guys, just setting your intention. What is it that you want for this full moon? Now, the full moon we know is about a completion. And we know that after the full moon, we go into waning moon. So the full moon is so powerful for us to actually pause for a moment and think about what we have realized that have happened in the days leading up. So, do you feel like you have manifested anything in the waxing moon? Do you feel like you accomplished something? So, sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves and we have to realize that we made it. Just simply, we made it. Nothing is perfect, right? We have to find gratitude. We have to um, celebrate that we are here now, right? And this has been a rough year, and closing out with a water moon to me is pretty cool because it's about compassion, right? It's about having a hard shell but being soft inside. So this year had a lot of strength, right? A lot of things that we felt we needed to cleanse. We needed to be powerful in our own way. We needed to find some kind of clarity. We needed to heal. We needed charging just from the craziness, right? So I wanted to make this video this way. It's a new way. A lot of little changes. Other laptop wasn't working, but in making this video, I never share like what I'm going through, but like when we make content, sometimes things don't work. Other platforms that we use don't work. And I was sitting here for an hour, almost an hour, not really an hour, trying to figure out how to record this. And not going to bore you guys with it, but to me, that is a feat in itself. That's something to feel proud of, that I keep going, you know? Um, and nothing is perfect, but we have to find our inner strength. So that's something to be proud of, is finding ways to make things work and not giving up. That to me is a winner, right? So this full moon, we have to recap, right? What did we do? And we can knock ourselves down. I do that. I'm like, I should have done this much work. And I'm like, I'm not feeling that great. I need to rest. But so we experience things and we put a lot on ourselves and we want to do great. We want to do good. So we have to just kind of recap at the full moon, right? We have to see how far we've come, what was revealed to us, and celebrate this high energy of the moon and the brightness of the moon, because the moon is healing. The moon bears light in the darkness, and the darkness is fine on its own. It needs that, right? Because a lot of powerful, good things happen in the dark, right? And in the full moon, right? The trees do what they need to do. A lot of growth happens in the dark, right? So we can heal, we can charge in this full moon. And this is a Cancer full moon. So Cancer is known for, like I said, being strong, not showing their emotions, sometimes holding things in. So what are you holding in? What are you not sharing? What are you, you know, what do you have in your heart? So this full moon, we have to think about, everything that we've been through. And this moon is great for divination. It's full moon is great for protection, fertility, healing work, psychic abilities. That's a water sign, very powerful. Your knowledge. You can bless yourself, bless items. Great for romance, especially if you are a balanced individual, right? You're not going through a traumatic time, then you'd need healing. Great for decision making and great for guidance. So just going over some things that the full moon is associated with, but this one's really powerful because it's in the 11th house. And a couple nights ago, I dreamt about four houses, and that was really powerful. And I think that these four houses that I dreamt about are going to have a powerful meaning: the third house, the sixth house, the 11th house, and the 12th house. But this moon is in the 11th house and the house of Aquarius. And Aquarius, the Aquarian age, we all know that all the shift that is just becoming more powerful. We're already in the Aquarian age, but it's getting stronger. And the 11th house is about groups, friendship, luck, future, reputation, right? These are the things that I wrote down because I'm like, okay, what is this dream talking about? Social awareness, right? Our debut on the scene, like your first appearance somewhere on the scene, right? In society, your hopes and your wishes. What are these things in the 11th house that connect with you? Humanitarianism, the world definitely needs that, right? The reception you receive in society, and your traditional house of friendship. This is our house of how we intermingle with each other, colleagues and our social group. So this 11th house is it's one step before we go to the 12th house, right? And the 12th house is the house of Pisces, right? And it is endings and beginnings and the rebirth. So this is the 11th step of how you're living your life. This is how I'm interpreting the 11th house is, what are you doing while you're alive? Because the 12th house deals with reincarnation, spirituality, you know, the unseen world, all things that exist, without any physical form. So it's the 11th house is, what are you doing right now? Right? That's what the 11th house is asking. And we have the moon in Cancer. So what healing can you work on in this full moon? It's a great one to set affirmations for your healing, for the direction that you're going, letting go of this year. It's our emotions, our inner emotions is what this moon is about. And in our life, we can see it in the world of any kind of crazy behavior. That would be a highlight: crazy behavior, right? And we can probably see it in our own lives or in someone else's life, and that is our own life because we are viewing that. But it doesn't have to be our main story. We can see things and not let it take control of our emotions fully, right? So Cancer sign rules the moon and our emotional nature, right? Our feelings, our instincts, and our memories. So we can use this to reprogram bad memories. We can use it to sharpen our instincts, and we can use it to balance our feelings, bring harmony into our lives. So before I start reading for each zodiac sign, I'm going to give you your astrology. I just want you to set an intention for yourself and even write it down. In these videos, you can have your journal and write down, okay, what am I working on? Right? What do I need to work on? What have I experienced? Do I need healing? Great. Do healing. Everyone can benefit from that and letting go. On my yoga and meditation channel, my other channel, we did a meditation, I am already successful. And it's reprogramming your mind, right? Whatever success means to you, it should really at the core be happiness and feel fulfilled. And then you move forward with whatever that goal is. Because you're setting an energy for yourself. So if you are a Cancer zodiac sign, that's your, birth sign, your sun sign or your moon sign or your north node, you can tap into this as well. It will mean something for you. Okay? So these are some things that you can think about. This moon is very powerful because the whole world is vibing on this Gregorian calendar, and those that, we are going to celebrate that new year. Now, if you know that this is the full moon today, then tomorrow it's waning moon, and then, which is the 31st of December, and then January 1st is going to be a waning moon as well. So setting your intention in a waning moon is not very powerful. And we should know that because it's going to go right into Virgo, which is great. Okay, which is health and wellness. So you can use the 31st and January 1st to clear out negative programming of illness and sickness, right? And Virgo is the small intestines, the digestive system, and the pancreas. That's what Virgo rules over, and other parts of the body too. Let's go into that and see what Virgo rules. So I'm looking at my astrology here. Well, the first, actually, I take that back. The first is going to be in Leo still, and the second in Leo. So not yet, huh? So the 30th, the first is the moon is going to be in Leo. The second, the moon is in Leo, and then by 5:13 Pacific Standard Time, that's 8:13 in the night, it's going to switch over to Virgo on January 2nd. And then January 3rd, it's in Virgo as well. So if you get an astrology chart online and look it up, you can see it. There's ones that will tell you, if you type in like moon calendar, it will tell you the time that it switches over if you want to go that deep. But basically, Leo governs the heart and everything in the heart, the blood flow and the blood circulation. So you can actually set an intention to clear out negative or any kind of unstable things, through the blood, right? So that's a powerful energy work that you can do. It's more of getting rid of anything, sadness of the heart you can do energetically, like, Reiki or any other energy healing work, and clear out any kind of negative programming through the blood. But on this full moon, it's all about compassion for yourself and also compassion for others, and just setting a positive, very powerful intention. So let's get into this full moon. And the full moon is so powerful because it all depends on where you're located and when, this energy hits you. And we're all on different time zone, but we can connect at any time. It doesn't have to be the high peak, because I love to connect on the high peak if I'm available, if I'm not sleeping or busy at the time. But I always set the intention so we can all tap into that. So let's start with Cancer, because it's your moon. So Cancer, you have the moon in the 11th house. So what are you going to do and set the intention, a powerful one? It's not a new moon, but you can set the intention that you're going to manifest for January and February. That's where you want to set it, because we know that the new cycle really starts on the new moon in February. I believe it's February 12th, okay? So you want to set a positive intention for January and February to get through winter, everyone, okay? You want to set that positive intention. So let's go by definition of the houses. You're in the 11th house. So with your friendships and your groups, what are you going to do that's better for yourself to have better relationships with people and protect your energy, right? And others that are Cancer, you'll have 12th house experiences. So, what are you going to do with those? Okay, those spiritual connections that you need to make for yourself. So, being more intuitive, more aware of yourself and what is best for you. Some of you might feel like you need a more 12th house, okay? Because remember, in different parts of the world, the energy can be either 11th house or 12th house that you're connecting to. And the 12th house, for some of you that's connecting to that, is your spiritual connection, right? Just being more in tune spiritually. And all Cancers can benefit from that. And that, because that's Pisces house. And then the 11th house is like your connection in this life to the people here and now. What are you doing in your current life? Okay. Now let's move to Gemini. Gemini, you have the North Node, and this is your Jupiter energy. This is, where do you project yourself in this life? What do you want to do with your life right now? Okay, what are your relationships, right? So you are connecting to your most powerful self, a little bit of the 11th house experience, and some of you the 10th house, about your career and your success and what makes you happy, what you're doing with your time. So there's many things that can make you happy and you're creative, but it's focusing on saying, okay, am I doing 40%, 50%, or 100%? And you can do this because you have the energy to project and to just communicate and be full of life. And some people don't understand that. So with this North Node in retrograde, it's really slowing down and really thinking about everything that the North Node means, your life purpose, where you're going, what you want to do in this life. So that's very powerful for Geminis, and you guys can definitely do that. So empower yourself, affirmation, positive words, surrounding yourself with positive, empowering people. Okay. Now, one of the powerful aspects that we want to focus on is the Sun conjuncts Mercury, 6 degrees, 1 minute. Even though it's 1 minute, it's the Sun conjunct Mercury, okay? So you can be very creative here, okay? You can be very creative and you can have this ability to see things from a more outside perspective so that when you're creating, it can make it even more powerful and more interesting. And this is also a great aspect where you can really improve on affirming to yourself and let go of the doubt that, hey, I have this talent, this brings me joy. I am an artist in my own way, right? And really connect to your own uniqueness and do something that is just you vibing, feeling, and not worried about what someone likes, just connecting to what you like. And then once you do that, it's like a confidence that just makes everything else flow well. So, and I feel that a lot of people need that energy too, not just Geminis, because we all have Gemini in our chart and some kind of aspect there, but it gives it a good balance and a good boost at this full moon, and it's a compassion for your creativity. So, Taurus has Uranus and the MC in the 10th house as well, right? So, Taurus, this is your time to really vibe on the same thing that Gemini is vibing on. So, I'm looking at the chart and seeing what you guys need to actually know. And I want to get a bigger picture, a bigger screen, if you will. Because when a screen is small, a device screen is small, it's hard to see what you guys need to focus on. And Uranus is about rebelling. But remember, Taurus, when you have this, you really have to decide what how much energy you want to give it to something, right? But you guys know what you're doing. So definitely, connect to that, tap into that. And be realistic with yourself when you're tapping into this because you also have Chiron there. Not Chiron, Lilith, okay? And Lilith can be about denial. So, what are you not willing to face? And dealing with rejections and really calculating how you are going to project what it is that you need to project. So, not everything can be positive. So, this is a really powerful time with Lilith dancing through the 10th and the ninth house. It's like you needing to figure out what you are going to do about feeling like you really don't want to be held back from your possibilities and what you sense is your possibility. So this is going to be really tricky because this is a lot of inner work where you have to look at yourself in a deeper way, even the parts of you that you don't like. And it might be hard to do that, but you're going to have to really look at the parts of you that you don't want to look at. What you're like, okay, I'm correct, I'm right. But you still have to look at yourself and say, okay, what am I refusing to look at? And this Uranus energy, you can use it to really make you feel comfortable and free enough to look at yourself and say, what are the parts that I really need to work on that I'm rejecting looking at? And don't worry about anything being an ideal situation or an ideal way of going about it. Just use your intuition, okay? And don't focus too heavily on being ideal about something. It's good, but focus more on your intuition. And that's going to get you out of feeling confused about what direction you should go in, what you know, how you should be, or how you should, what relationship you should have with someone. And some of you might want to think about moving or feel like you can't move, but you feel bound to where you are. And this is a great time to do some kind of soul searching on that, and in a sense making peace until you can have a future plan. So a lot of Taurus will have to do some deep soul work in regards to what they're not willing to face about themselves, and that could be a powerful um, way to work this full moon. But you can also tap into the compassion of this moon and the healing that you can receive from this Cancer moon, and also affirming to yourself that you'll be successful in whatever it is that is the main thing that you're experiencing, Taurus. And even if you don't connect to this message, just know that there's a strong Uranus connection of needing to feel like you need to um, stand up to something, feel free from something, and you can't get this from someone else. You have to get it from yourself. And that's the thing. Even if someone else is in that relationship with you, you can't get it from someone else. It has to come from from you. And this Lilith is going to help you calculate that and pinpoint what it is that you need to work on. Okay? And if you feel like you have some rejection left over from 2020 experience, if you feel like you have some kind of loss or grief or, some kind of issue where you couldn't figure out the best way to deal with something, this is where you can let it go and release that tension from your body, because you can hold that in your throat, your ears, your nose, your neck, right? So these can cause tension in parts in your body, so you want to release that. Okay, so now Aries, you have your planet of Mars and you have Chiron in your sign and in the ninth house. So the ninth house, okay, being there and being there with uh, your powerful planet. Let's look at your powerful planet first. So your powerful planet is going to want to fight against things that you don't agree with. So first you have to decide if it's willing, if it's right to fight for it. And some of you, it is a good fight because it has to do with the lack of wisdom. And we've experienced a lot of that in 2020. For some of you, it's everything that the ninth house has to deal with, right? So you have to see, learning, travel, law, philosophy, a lot of thinking, a lot of understanding, contemplating, right? And a lot of you guys are going to be dealing with, do you want this education or not? And just carving your own way of work and experience and learning, right? So this particular full moon for you guys is going to be, how can you heal whatever you're fighting against? And certain things you're fighting against, it's a time matter, just like the rest of us. Time will clear it up. Okay, it's nothing that's gonna happen overnight. And that Chiron energy is about you being healing to others while receiving healing. And know that you are your own inner teacher, but being your own inner teacher, you learn faster without ego because you are also a student and receiving. So just know that in time, things will change. And when it becomes your season, things will just become more powerful. We need this new cycle of all these new seasons for each sign to really cleanse themselves of this year. So it's a 2 year working process after 2020, but we can make faster changes in 2021 if people elevate their thinking a little bit more. So there's hope for that, hopefully, right? But just you working through any kind of travel issues that you guys will be facing in the next couple days, and everything that has to do with the ninth house laws, being there to help someone needing help yourself and needing healing with different things that have to happen in the ninth house. Okay, so now we are going to move to Pisces. Okay, so Pisces, you have your Neptune, and you have Neptune in the eighth house, and this full moon is a lot of uh, understanding and working through your financial issues. Okay, that's a big thing. And whether it's the lack of giving or the lack of what it is that you need this year. So some of you are doing great, others are not. Okay, and this house for Pisces is about the good, about you actually receiving um, more money, more prosperity, more happiness because you've put in all this work, right? And you've remained strong through it all. And you're going to be doing some kind of partnership and receiving more. But you're putting in so much already that what you're receiving is due. Okay, and then if you're a Pisces and you don't relate to this, then let 2021 be the year where you're depositing your energy into doing things that will benefit you and your life at whole. Okay, and tap into that Neptune with this water sign of Cancer. All the water signs are going to benefit from this Cancer moon, right? You can tap into your success and wealth. You can do any kind of work and pull in that energy very strongly. Even if you feel that in the waxing moon you didn't complete certain goals, you can reset that affirmation. You can pull in the energy of the moon to help you stay focused in the waning moon so that you shed what you need in the waning moon, and it makes room now for whatever it is that you want. That's what the waning moon is for. It's a release. It's like giving donations, getting rid of things, cleaning up clutter, releasing negative thoughts within you. Um, and that's making room for whatever you set your intention for on the past new moon. And also on the full moon, you're like, hey, I completed this goal, I'm celebrating it. Or, hey, I want to pull in the energy of the moon to be strong, to keep my balance and keep my energy up. So tap into your Neptune for whatever it is that you want. See it in the unseen plane. Visualize it, and then work to make it a reality in this plane. Now we're going to move on to Aquarius, who has the Fortuna, which is great. This is great. So you have the luck of the cosmos. So a lot of money work you can do, a lot of prosperity work, and other people can tap into this. We're in the season of Aquarius, so tapping into this energy. Are we in Aquarius? Am I bugging? Yes, we are. I guess we are. Are we? Yes, we are in Aquarius. I had to stop for a second because then we're going to go into Pisces, and then March we're going to go into Aquarius. Okay. I mean into Aries. So being in Aquarius, we can all tap into this frequency of Aquarius season, right? And even though Aquarius is a water sign, they are connected to that water. I mean, as an air sign, they connect to the water emotion. So tap into the overabundance fulfillment of water. You can tap into that. It's like a pouring down of blessings. You can visualize that water pouring down of blessings. So your astrology is that you you are going to also, being in the descendant area of the chart, you are going to want to let's look at the seventh house first. Let me cover the seventh house. You're in the seventh house of your relationships, marriage, and contracts. So any kind of personal things that you're doing with people, you want to make sure that you are comfortable with what you're saying and what you're doing. So only speak. This is so strong for Aquarius. Make sure that your words are healing, for yourself and for others. Now you're in the descendant, so this is more like a private area for you. Being private about your wins. Don't share everything with everyone. Okay? And you're going to be able to feel a connection to others very strongly in this house. Okay? That's another thing. So you're going to feel a very strong connection to people, right? Being in the descendant and being in the seventh house, these relationships is going to heighten even more. So you want to be very mindful with your words. And then you have Jupiter and you also have Saturn. So this is a great time for you to really manifest what you want, a great time to master your luck. So maybe set a positive intention to just always be lucky throughout this new calendar year. Why not? Set that affirmation. People will be compassionate to you. You'll be compassionate to yourself, and that you have ease in your relationship. That's my word for this moon, ease. So, Capricorn, you have Pluto, you have Mercury, okay? You have the sun, right? So if you have the sun, we're in your season. So there we have it. But we can really tap into the Pluto energy. And I got to look at that. We can tap into that Pluto energy of sitting back, seeing where we need to be, where we're going, understanding our true power, understanding that true power that we have when it comes to remaking ourselves, right? And what needs to die to be transformed, to evolve. So we can really connect to that. And December is a powerful time, this time, to realize our rise and our fall, right? Because this is our time where we're more connected to appreciating what we have. So this is an easy time for us to say, okay, it's time for me to transform. It's time for me to change. So what do you need to change in your life right now? And you want to connect to that, and you can communicate with yourself easier and others because you have that Mercury energy. And having the sun, it's a deep time to really think about yourself. It's a really powerful time. So we can really connect to this Cancer moon, Capricorn, and I say we because I'm not a Capricorn, but I'm connecting to your energy for, understanding and feeling where you need to be. The moon is water, you are earth. So this Cancer moon is your opposite sign. And this Cancer moon can give you that vital energy of water, of chi, so that you can really connect deeply to your healing under this moon. And yes, we are in Capricorn season, the sun is in Capricorn, but we can all connect to this Aquarius energy if we want to. And wherever Aquarius is in your chart, please connect to that, especially if you are Pisces and if you're Capricorn, because you're right next to each other. Your energy is definitely connected. Okay, you need that that air of Pisces and that water essence that Pisces has. Okay, you need that fire that Sagittarius has, Capricorn, so you can definitely connect to that and look at your chart and see where things are placed. And I feel this message is going to connect very deeply with someone. Okay, that's why we're here, because some of the message might not connect, and some of it will, because maybe you're not ready, but you're here, but you're ready, and then months later or years later you'll connect to it, or you're like, oh man, I wish I connected to it, I wish I listened, I wish I was that open. You're a little bit open, some of you that are watching, and some aren't, and others are like, yeah, okay, I get this, this is what I need to do. Capricorn, communicate more with yourself, understand when you need to let certain things go, connecting deeper spiritually, pulling down the energy of the moon, meditating, being still, being calm, right? And receiving the information you need. And when you go to sleep after you watch this video, really take to heart what is going on personally in your life and how Pluto can benefit that, right? How Mercury can benefit that, and how the sun representing the self. Mercury's communication, and Pluto is transformation, rebirth, death, right? So it doesn't have to be physical death. It can be, but it could also be what will take a new shape and a new form and a new cycle. And let's look at the houses too, because you guys are in the, some of you will have sixth house and some of you will have fifth house experiences. Okay, so that is powerful within itself. And you want to make sure that you journal this down and get ready for that new year, because I've been talking to people about that, right? So the fifth house is your personal relationships, the sixth house is your health and your fitness, your, it's many different things. So I'm just giving you a few. So the sixth house is mainly your health, your wellness, right? And the habits that you are implementing to either better or worsen that health condition. And then, your own health. And then the fifth house is your love and relationship with your partner, your family, right? Your romance, okay? A little bit of romance, but the seventh house is more the romance, really the relationship, the deep commitment. But the fifth house is the love that you feel and you being creative with that love. So that's what the Capricorn energy is. And you guys are getting a break from having, your own planet in your sign, which is great for you, right? But having Jupiter there too was good for some who have mastered themselves, but for others who haven't mastered themselves, they really didn't know how it was a struggle with the Saturn and Jupiter there. Now you can communicate with yourself and be more spiritual, right? This is your moment to kind of just guide yourself. And even though Capricorn is hard for Capricorns to be spiritual, this Pluto there is going to help you to guide you to where you need to go. And you're going to tap in just a little bit because we all have that. It's just that we have our role to play in this life, right? Sagittarius, you have the South Node. So again, you need is a more stricter kind of energy, in some sense, a Saturn type of energy where it's looking back and it's organized to say, okay, it's the nodes are in the Akashic records as well, but they're just more like, okay, what's your past relationship, healing that. And for some of you, you won't fully get it and others will, but it's healing your past relationships, past life karma, past life experiences, connecting to what you are naturally great at, because you don't need to work on it. So why are you relying on it so strongly? So that could be a crutch for you. Okay. You have Venus. So really look at how you love, right? How you love in your fifth house relationships, children, your creativity, right? What's your relationship with your spirit? What's making you feel joyous and what's not? Are you expressing yourself? Are you in too much drama? Maybe old dramas come up from your own memory, right? And what dramas are you creating by being too positive or too optimistic? Because being too optimistic can make you make mistakes that you really shouldn't be. There should be some form of maturity. And then on the other hand, the greatness is that you have Venus here. So there's a lot of self love work that you can do. Venus is in retrograde. So you're going to experience a lot of relationships going wrong, but you can infuse that positivity. You can always flip it. Even though you notice there's relationship dramas, you can also flip it to create the healing that is needed. So that is very powerful with this Venus retrograde. Really work on a lot of love. Maybe letting go of negative characteristics that deal with love. Scorpio, you guys have like nothing in here, but you're in the private sector of the chart, the IC. So what does that mean to you? Because I can give you the reading, but if you're connecting to something else and you're like, I know what that means. Okay, my chart, I'm in the IC. Okay, fine. I can work with that. When you're in this position, there's a lot. There could be your home issues, your family, the foundation of your family history, right? So there's some things like that you want to tap into. Many different issues about your family's past, your family's, whatever you feel. Hey, this is not my baggage. You know, you're like, this is not my baggage. This is not my situation. I didn't create this. Great, but how are you going to make things better? And the fourth house is also home. So it's really interesting. The IC is there. So it's home, your family, caring for yourself, your emotions, trying to do the best that you can. Tap into your feminine energy. Work with things that have to do with feminine energy and find, I'm yawning, and find healing this month. I just did a meditation, so it was really powerful. Okay? So really heal that. I know some of you guys, this one's a short reading because it's just, come through as powerful as it can and as short as it did. But connecting to that and feeling very private about this too, and maybe not sharing all of your feelings regarding a family or home situation because it all has to do with the home. So set the intention that you're taken care of. It's about self-care. So someone else has to step up and do certain things and manifest that life that you need for yourself, or that connection, or that service towards you. So it's all about self-healing. So use these waning moon days leading up to the full moon to just lessen the emotional feeling of heaviness, whatever that heaviness is. Libra, you have the third house issues. So there's no planets. So tap into the moon, just like Scorpio. I didn't say for Scorpio. Tap into the energy of the moon. So you're in the mind and communication and thinking. So some of you could be overthinking things, really communicating, getting words out, working with words, communicating. The house of communication is empty, but the house of mind, you're in your mind, you're in communicating, you're in the power of words and using words and creating words, right? So this is powerful. You can use that full moon energy to heal. And there's no trining angles here. This left side, this side of the chart is, 1 and 4 is pretty relaxed, not so much going on. Okay. So moving on to Virgo in the second house of Taurus, issues that have to deal with your home, okay, is coming up. Things that you have nothing to do with, but you've inherited these issues of home, and your daily routine can be healing. What you value, you have to look at it. Maybe you have to shift certain things around, or just remind others of your boundaries and what your values are. Things that you possess. Some of you will be receiving things that is a beautiful gift, that is um, even an inheritance, like an old beautiful gift some of you could be receiving, and money coming in, okay, and investments, and just really being blessed with a lot of things that benefit your home and your family. But also, on the flip hand, is dealing with issues that you didn't create. Maybe something that your partner is experiencing, that you're experiencing, and then there's going to need some kind of healing in the home situation, home relationship, close family, close loved ones, healing. Now, Leo, you are in the first house. A lot of you guys can definitely benefit from the meditation I did on my yoga and meditation wellness channel. It's the I am energy, because Cancer is the I nurture sign, right? And you're in Aries home of that I am energy. So you are in a very prominent spot, and you being a fifth house baby of I serve, and you have your own creativity, and you care about yourself, and you're focused on yourself. And when you're serving, you're really serving you, and it's helping others. So it's healing for you. Okay? And that's what people don't realize. They think you're just doing it for attention. You're doing it to heal yourself and to heal others in the highest form, whenever it's something that's really beneficial for the whole. And it's good for you to feel good about yourself, because that's what you need in this life. You have to have that energy. And it's a needed experience of growth, right? It's just when you're born as that zodiac, that's what you need to learn, right? That's what you need to feel within you, to get filled up with that. So, Leo, you're in this attention spot, right? Where you're really contemplating your outer surface, right? What do you appear as to yourself, but also to others? And your personality on the outside is going to be beneficial to you, how you act. No matter how you feel inside, is how you're acting on the outside that will be benefit for you this full moon. So you can do your inner work, but on the outside, to people who don't care for you, or don't understand what you're going to, you're going to have to put this appearance on. But while you're working on yourself, but make sure you're truly working on your own personal healing. That's going to be very beneficial for you, this full moon. And being right next to Cancer, really connecting to this zodiac, this water, this healing, right? Even though you're fire, you you can definitely have that steam energy. Think of it as steam, right? In the sense of water, right? And that steam can just sweat away things that you need to cleanse. So think of this full moon as really rinsing off yourself, getting rid of things that you don't need, right? And fill yourself up with that first house energy of reminding yourself of who you are, how powerful you are, how wonderful you are, how strong you are, right? So that can be very powerful for Leos. So everyone connecting, vibing, connecting, focusing on where your moon is in your chart too, your birth chart. Look at that, see where that is, and see how you can connect that to this full moon, right? Is the moon in your 11th house would be the biggest thing. Is your moon in Cancer? That would be the biggest thing if you're not a Cancer zodiac sign. And this this full moon is strongly connected to Mercury, you know. So this full moon is most definitely powerful connection to Mercury. So we talked about that in meditation. So this full moon, and I'm going to go to Mercury right now and talk about it. Okay, so let's click into it. This one is a powerful one, the sun and the moon. All right, so let's talk about this. So, okay, here we are. Okay, so this is about your creativity for everyone. This is your creativity with the moon, okay, and Mercury, and tapping into the art of you. Your whole being is an art. We're going to get deep with it. Your whole being is an art, right? On the bigger scale, you are an art, a work of art, a creation. But then tap into that deeper. Where do you feel that you need more fulfillment, more attention, so you can feel like you are growing? You're communicating this to yourself. And when you communicate it to yourself, you communicate it to others. So where do you feel like you're lacking this communication with yourself and with others? And once you strengthen that, then you can bring together this sense of the main issue, your creativity, you combine that, and then you can, out of that, you can create the healing that is needed. And just think of it as a show, really, right? So don't feel like you won't have everything that you need. Know that you'll have everything that you need because you're connecting to this energy of Cancer, which is nurturing, healing, right? Allow yourself to flow with what you are experiencing right now. Allow yourself to flow through it and let it go. Let go of what you don't want to hold on to, and then project yourself into a better future and set that affirmation. But do that healing work, right? Because remember, the moon is about what you have completed. Even if you feel like, okay, I didn't complete anything, you did. You're still here. You made it through. You did the best you could. If you completed something, great. Celebrate that. I've said it before. If you feel like you still want to work on it, make room in these waning moon days, right? So let's connect to that waning moon day. Before I go, I want to say one more thing. So I want to pull up the chart so I can um, give as accurate as I can. Okay, so on these waning days, you want to make room to keep going. Don't allow anything to block you. Don't overdo anything. All right. Sometimes when we feel like we're falling behind, or we feel like we're not, we didn't do as much as we thought that we could, we're like, oh man, I should just, you know, throw everything away, or move all of this, or get rid of all, take it slow. So January, after the full moon, depends on where you are. Some of you, the full moon was on the 29th, others was the 30th. So let's just say the 31st until the new moon on January 12th. Tuesday, January 12th, the new moon. Okay, I believe it's in Capricorn, right? So up until January 12th, it's just making space for yourself and what it is that you are working on. And it's a new calendar year, so happy new year to everyone. And I hope that this reading was beneficial for you. Okay? The moon is going to focus that attention, right? Another powerful aspect, the moon, the MC, Uranus, Lilith, the sun, and even Mercury, right? So, how are your emotions affecting what you're fighting for, what you're fighting against? The calculate it and communicate it. And it's good for the self, but it's also going to be good for the whole. So, that's another projection of this full moon, right? This full moon day already made changes in our life that we feel, and we haven't experienced it yet in reality. So that's the positivity of it. And in the world at large, there's a lot of things that happen today that are just stepping stones to better things, right? And more people are waking up to seeing things every day. There's a new awakening for everyone, a new realization. So let's set those positive intentions. Happy new moon, or happy full moon rather. Happy full moon in Cancer, and happy new year. Set your intentions. Thank you all so much for watching and clicking like if this resonates with you. Wonderful. Okay, it's found you, and that's good. Happy new year. Happy full moon. Peace.